Step back in time to one of the most challenging eras in American history, the Great Depression. Through rare and captivating photos, we'll uncover the resilience, struggles, and daily life of people during this pivotal moment. Join us as we bring history to life, only here on the Archival Eye. The Great Depression was the worst economic tragedy in American history. The crisis resulted in skyrocketing rates of unemployment, hunger, and desperation. Following a period of booming prosperity in the 1920s, the Great Depression began when the U.S. stock market crashed in 1929. Known as Black Thursday, the 1929 crash was attributed in part to a vast imbalance of wealth between the rich and poor, a fervent production of goods, little to no wage gains, an increase in personal debt, and government mismanagement. Over the course of the decade, more than 15 million Americans lost their jobs. The effects of the Great Depression could be felt into the early 1940s. The unemployment rate jumped at a shocking speed. From 1929 to 1930, unemployment rose from fewer than 3 million to 4 million, according to figures cited by the University of Houston's Digital History Archive. In 1931, it doubled to 8 million, and by 1932, unemployment levels reached a staggering 12.5 million. By that year, 1 out of every 4 U.S. workers was unemployed. Thousands of Americans lost their homes, and hundreds of thousands attempted to travel through the country on foot or by boxcar to find work, according to the Library of Congress. Those who were fortunate enough to remain working often suffered large pay cuts and decreased hours. By 1932, 75% of all remaining workers were on a part-time schedule, according to the University of Houston's Digital History Archive. Families who were unable to pay rent were frequently evicted from their homes. Vagrants looking for work on public trains were kicked to the curb. The struggle for money became so desperate that families across the country often lived in crowded shacks. Some families inhabited caves or sewer pipes out of desperation. During the winters of 1932 and 1933, an estimated 1.2 million Americans were homeless. The population of the U.S. at that time was about 125 million, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. In an effort to save money, families planted their own gardens, canned foods, bought old bread, sought out soup kitchens, and stopped buying common items like milk. Many also sacrificed medical and dental care because they couldn't afford it. At the beginning of the Depression, President Herbert Hoover largely dismissed the stock market crash as a passing incident in our national lives. Hoover did not believe in offering federal aid to the impoverished or using the power of the federal government to manage prices or currency, according to the Gilder Lehrman Institute of American History. Americans grew angry, and Hoover became widely blamed for the economic turmoil. Impoverished people living in shantytowns across the country started referring to them as Hoovervilles, and empty pockets turned inside out were known as Hoover flags. Desperate Americans threatened with hunger and starvation began organizing marches and labor riots. In 1932, 20,000 veterans of World War I marched to the Capitol to demand the payment of bonuses that they were scheduled to receive in 1945, according to the Library of Congress. The bill to do so did not pass in Congress. What do you think life was really like for the people in these photos? Let's discuss in the comments. Children were adversely affected as well. An estimated 200,000 vagrant children wandered the streets of America due to the breakup and collapse of their families, according to Virginia Commonwealth University's Social Welfare History Project. Black and Mexican communities experienced higher rates of unemployment and discrimination during the Depression. Half of Black workers were unemployed by 1932 compared to the general unemployment rate of 25%, according to the Library of Congress. In southern states, the percentage of unemployed Black workers was even higher. The Depression had a significant impact on the psychology of unemployed men. Suicide rates increased during the Great Depression. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt was elected in 1933 and shepherded the New Deal through Congress.